Hey everybody, welcome to this tip number 22, I believe, for the Shortwave radio channel, and we are today March 19th, 2019. We talked about tuning digital signals, or on digital radios, sorry, that have, a digital display. How about tuning analog radios? Is there some tip or some trick that can be used in an analog receiver to make it easier to find your way around on the frequency ranges? Because one of the problems with analog radios like these, it's kind of difficult to really know where you are on the frequencies. But there's one thing about analog radios: even though they drift, even though they might not be very precise, some are worse than others, one of the things that actually people often overlook is the markings on the display. So let's take, for example, first of all, this sub $20 Texan R9012 receiver. One of the things that you will notice on this sub receiver, and let's just try to have the camera focus. There we go. No, it's not focusing really well, but over here there's little markings. So let me just get closer here. So you guys might see that there's actually some markings over here. And these markings, and I'm sorry if it's not super clear, are in between the frequencies that you see at the bottom. These markings will have numbers. So this one has from 0 to 10 and little dots in between. It's a scale. It's a scale that you can use to actually figure out and understand where you're tuning. And so how does it work? Well, tune a signal that you know the actual frequency. Once you've actually tuned that signal on whatever frequency range, you know that your radio at that spot in that band is on, say you're on Spain, 9690 kilohertz. Well, you can use the scale here and just take note. For example, if 9690 in that scale on this radio, for example, would be between the 5 and the 6 on the scale, and of course in between there are 4 dots. Well, I know that, okay, it's on between 5 and 6, and it's on the second dot. So take note that next time you tune, when you don't know exactly where 9690 is, use that scale and tune your radio at that range, 5 plus 2 dots. It's a little weird when you explain it, but it actually is there. It's like a ruler. It's there to help you actually understand where you're tuning. So the fact that these radios aren't very precise can become overcome using that scale, and that this is a very simple reason why that scale exists, and it's for that. And pretty much I've looked at all my analog radios, and all of them have a form of this scale. It's possible that very cheap radios don't. Look at this one. This is an older Toshiba, and it does have the scale. The scale is here on the side. It has the same scale. It's the same kind of ruler. So if I tune in the frequencies here, well, I can use the same trick of seeing where on the scale I'm located to hear a station. So, for example, I'll tune a medium wave station here. Go to medium wave. Let's tune a local medium wave station. So here, this is 690 news. But on the scale here, I have, even though I'm not sure I'm on 690, I have that ruler here that I can use. And if I look at the ruler, I know that when I'm in that vicinity, if I go towards, this is almost on the number 3 here, well, I can actually try to pinpoint using that ruler for where I am in the frequency range. So even if that station wasn't there, understanding where my needle is and where on the ruler it is actually on the scale will kind of pinpoint, oh, that's it, that I'm on 690 kilohertz roughly, because I can actually see that I'm at that position usually when I'm on 690 kilohertz. So even if the station would not be there and something else would replace it, say the station's off the air and you suddenly have some, skip station, some station from another country coming in. Well, you can look at the scale and say, well, you know what, I believe I'm on 690. It's still a rough estimation because analog is analog, but that scale that is provided with the frequencies that are written here will actually help you pinpoint and help you tune around, because analogs drift, but over time they still stay within a certain range. So when you are using that rule, you can probably fine-tune and understand where you are in the frequencies, either on shortwave, medium wave, or the FM band. If you enjoy my tips, well, why not subscribe? Hope you enjoy the videos. Sorry for the autofocus here and not seeing the scale really well, but I think you guys get the drift. So thanks for watching.